Well, hello there. It's been a couple of days since I've made a blog. Also, I am all dolled up today and don't have my glasses on because woo, because I wanted to take an picture for Instagram and I wanted to feel pretty today. Takes a lot of energy to do, so I've decided to do a lot of TikToks and take a lot of pictures. When you have the energy to do something, you take advantage of it all. So I've done a lot of picture taking and TikToks and whatnot. TikTok has definitely become a hobby of mine, and I've found a lot of great community in there. So I definitely have found an army of supporters in TikTok. So a lot of change has happened since my last vlog. I have moved into my mother's bedroom, so I sleep with my mom because I no longer can get to my room, and which is really disappointing and frustrating because it sounds silly, but like I want my own TV, I want my own space, I want my own things, I want to have my own individual space. Like I want to stay up later if I wanted to. I can't. I physically can't because I fell asleep by 8 o'clock because my body's so tired. And then I had the most gut-wrenching conversation with my neurophysical therapist who I had made a great relationship with. We'd been doing virtual appointments now that my complex care doctor had set up. She referred me to her because she understood mast cell activation syndrome, and she also understood cranial cervical instability. She also understood the Ehlers-Danlos community, and so she understood a lot of the things that was going on with my body. And when I said something, I wasn't afraid to say something with having like psychological stigma of being like, oh, this is happening. And most doctors would look at me being like, you're nuts. And she would look at me and be like, this is what's happening inside your body, physically, organically. And other doctors would be like, yep, you're crazy, and it's all in your head. And she would be able to tell me exactly what's happening, why it's happening, and she wouldn't be able to fix it, but she said, this is probably what's happening, and you should probably do this, or talk to this person, or get this referral. And this last conversation, I'm trying not to cry. In this last conversation, like I knew the reality. I was going from this disabled category and I was going into severely disabled category. When you're sitting on your commode and you're having attacks to the point that your 10-year-old nephew is sitting in front of you making sure you're not falling off, and your mother's behind you holding you up, so you're having two people hold you up so you don't fall off a commode, you're severely disabled. And you're having this conversation with your PT person and virtually, and she says, I think it's time to have the conversation, Chelsea. And I was like, I think I know what you're about to say. And then I started like to tear up a bit. And I said, I know what you're about to say because I've been having this discussion like with myself and with mom, saying I think we need to get a social worker involved, and I think we need to get other people involved. And it's like, it's not only a COVID risk for me, but it's also accepting that I am severely disabled. It's accepting my reality and saying these things out loud to somebody else, which is very difficult. It's accepting the reality that I am not okay, which is so difficult, which was also having to say goodbye to a PT person who understood me so well and did not judge me and did not have a psychological stigma attached to me. And so it was either saying, go back to the home crew that I had before, which had every psychological stigma attached to me and had no idea what to do with me, or do a different system, go through a different care system. And I said, I'm going to go through you guys, so at least they can message you when they get stuck. And I asked her, like, is there somebody who's as good as you? And she says, there is no clone like me, but I know some of the home care people. So she said, you can choose as many people as you want or as little as you want. And I said, I'm just going to do PT, and we have a PCA already set up. So my mom has filled out the hardship waiver. So she is officially, legally my PCA now. And if my mom needs respite, she just has to call in and I can have my original, not the original, but the PCA I really liked originally. I loved her so much as well, but I'm scared for anybody to physically touch me because of COVID. I'm just a bit jumpy with that. So, PCA, PT, now the PT coming in, the reason that is very important now is they need to come in and make sure that my home is accommodating for somebody like me, to make sure that the space I am moving in is accessible, because I have now been dropped and fallen on my head, that the spaces I am moving in between can be accommodated. So this PT person can put in orders for seats, chairs, armrests, transfers, braces, whatever I need in my home. This PT person can be like, you need all of these accessible devices to be put in your home, whether my mom likes it or not. This PT person can make my home accessible for me. Whether I am moving out of the bed or not, she can make my house accessible, which is the most important thing, because at this point my PT person said, PT is the least of your worries. Mobility and safety is the top of your worries. We need to make sure that you are safe, and I cannot make sure you are safe virtually anymore. Which that was also another hard thing to swallow, because, you know, normally it's like, yes, make sure your body is physically fit. Make sure you're not withering away. And now it became, that is not your top priority. We need to make sure you're safe. Not your body, but your home. Which was really hard to fathom. So I am, as you can see here, everything is sort of just, I have my commode right there. So that's where I use the restroom. I have my little, this is my hospital tray. This is my water bottle, and there's a button right here, because when I am, excuse the dog barking, when I am in my attacks, sometimes my teeth get stuck together, and sometimes there's only just enough space maybe to get my medication in, but sometimes my lips don't work enough to swallow, or I can't swallow, so the button allows the water to actually get pulled up the straw, so I don't have to manually suck in the water. These bottles were made for people with MS, ALS, Parkinson's. That's how I found it. We're there, people. We've had to learn some weird things and figure it out on our own, that like when I'm in these attacks, I'm just stuck. And for people on the outside, you're thinking, why would you need this Imagine somebody laying in a bed and the only thing moving is their eyeballs. That's my attack. You come into the room, everything is rock solid from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. I cannot speak to you. I cannot gesture to you. Sometimes I can't even blink to you because sometimes I only got one eye open. It's just that. There is no form of communication while I'm in an attack. I have lost all form of communication. That is the reality of how severely disabling this is, and it has no name currently for me. I would really like to get diagnosed with this, so I can put a name to this. They believe it is stiff person syndrome, but I'm not officially diagnosed with it. But yeah. Here's the other thing that's going on. So we've been waiting for my heart monitor to come in so we can start testing to see if I officially have POTS, postular orthostatic tachycardic syndrome. We believe that is triggering my attacks. But I have to get that heart monitor done in order to get my tilt table test. Now, we've been waiting for the heart monitor for 2 weeks now. I finally got a call from my cardiologist saying that I got denied the heart monitor, but I got accepted for another one. My insurance denied me the 14-day one, but accepted the 30-day monitor one. So I will be wearing a 30-day heart monitor here, which I had to ask if I can be wearing one of those during my EMG, but I guess I can take it off and put it back on. It's an at-home one, so I guess they're just gonna send me instructions how to stick on my own heart monitor, which seems a little bit sketch, but okay. And then before my tilt table test, here's the next part that seems a bit confusing. I am so sorry, my dog is just barking in the background. Really annoying. Before the tilt table test, I need a COVID test, and I've been informed by a friend. I've looked on the support groups. So these sticks are really long for these COVID tests. And with the COVID test, basically, we need to find an alternative option. So if you people who are watching, can you tell me how I get a spit test? Because I cannot have a stick go up my nose because that will trigger an attack, and I'm not doing the drive-through getting a stick put up my nose and having an attack because that would be very dangerous. I tried to explain this to a nurse, and yeah, basically this is a really bad idea for my attacks because sometimes my attacks move my arms around and I could dislocate my arm while in a car, and sometimes people get stuck in cars while having these attacks, and sometimes they have to get the car doors removed because they get so locked up. So let's not have this happen. Please tell me if you know where to get these COVID tests that you can just spit into instead of getting the stick put up that would trigger my attacks. So yeah, I have until next month to get this test before my tilt table because I need to have the heart monitor on for a full month before we can get the tilt table test. This COVID test has to be done 4 days before the tilt table test. The tilt table test is just to confirm my POTS, postular orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Yep. These are the things that I wanted to tell you today. But we're pretty sure, and my PT person is pretty sure that my, and POTS is part of the triad, the trifecta. People who have mast cell and EDS usually have POTS. It's part of the trifecta of just what you get with EDS and mast cell. You just normally automatically get POTS. And my doctor was like, yeah, you have it, but because of your heart medication you're taking, I'm pretty sure it's just keeping it down. So she thinks I have it, but when we did the at-home test, she's like, I think your heart meds are keeping it quiet, so we need to get you official testing. But they're trying to slow down the testing because of the whole stiff person situation. So my PT person is messaging my doctor and saying, and is advocating for me, saying, I think you need to continue with the tilt table test, whether or not that she has stiff person. I think she has the right to get the testing done because I think it's triggering this all. So a tilt table test is basically they put you flat on a table and they slowly raise the table like this and like stand you up. And then they just see if you black out. Yeah, it's like standing somebody up. Basically postular orthostatic tachycardic syndrome. It's standing up problems of the heart. Every time I stand up, I go from, hey, you're laying down. It's like 90 beats per minute. I stand up and it goes 130 beats per minute. Start walking around, it's like 180 beats per minute. So pretty much have it. Just gotta get it, put it on paper. Even though in my Fairview chart it already says it. So yeah. Review of this video. I am now severely disabled. I am completely immobile. I cannot walk. I cannot stand. I'm stuck in a bed. And I haven't sat on a toilet in quite a long time, but I got my handy dandy commode. Yeah. Put my makeup on today though, and I'm pretty happy about it. I think I look pretty cute. Also, if you don't follow me or you have a TikTok, my TikTok is the same as my Instagram, Tanz Chelsea, TanzChelsea. Go check it out on TikTok. If you're on Instagram, TanzChelsea. It's the same as my TikTok. See y'all there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Love y'all. Peace, love, and Cookie Monster, you guys.